What's up, everybody? This is Jose from Southern Life, and on this video we're going to explore Texas together, you and me and Katie, on a road trip. We're west of Tyler, Texas, which is the largest city in northeast Texas. To the west of us is Dallas, Texas, one of the largest cities in the country, and to the south of us is Houston,
which is the largest city in Texas.
Yep. Texas has several cities with millions of population. It's a state that has large cities like Houston.
And Austin is the capital.
San Antonio. Dallas, Houston, big cities in the state. But it also has a lot of rural areas. Small towns, more affordable, less to do for sure. Today we're going to explore this area here. Katie, what lake are we driving around right now? Look at there on the map. Give us some geographical information here.
The lake is called
Lake Palestine. Is the map real quick?
Yep, Lake Palestine.
Lake Palestine we're driving around right now, which is Chandler is behind us now. We're driving away from Chandler towards Coffee City. So we'll get to see this rural Texas area here and explore the countryside, see some of the more rural parts of Texas, and we're going to talk about Texas. Now, Texas is a state that a lot of people are moving to for a lot of reasons. Texas has become the fastest growing state. I believe it's outpaced Florida already. And you'll find that even the smallest, remotest little towns in the middle of nowhere will have giant mansions being built in the middle of the woods. The state is also more welcoming than other states in the South by far. A lot of Spanish people that are looking for that southern experience are afraid of Alabama, Mississippi, even Georgia in some places, in South Carolina, have a horrible reputation because they only want to treat some of their people right. They don't want to treat everybody right. But here in Texas, that's less of a problem. And for the most part here in Texas, you'll see everybody making better incomes and being able to afford the suburban or rural lifestyle they want. So I believe as you get into southern Texas, you get closer to the border, there's a little bit more disparity because, being next to another country and all that, and all the problems that comes with. But we're in the northeast side of Texas, so this is kind of like the South, really. I mean, this looks indistinguishable from Alabama to me, other than speed limits are higher. It looks a lot like Alabama. It's beautiful, just like Alabama. You do see a lot of Spanish people here, and they're living a lot better than in other states that I've seen. It seems like a good space, a good state for Spanish people to make a decent living, from what I've seen so far. And again, you have the loss of Texas, which is a massive area. But you have the natural settings of the South, really. Texas is a massive state. It's the largest state in the lower 48. I think it looks very similar to Alabama. What do you think, Katie?
Yeah, I love it. I love the wildflowers. There's a lot of wildflowers in Alabama, too. But here, it's everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, this out here is just like Alabama. It's a pretty rural place. I mean, there's beautiful rural places everywhere. There's places that are cheap and they're bad. And there's cheap and they're good. And there's cheap and there's better. You know, there's still cheap, better places out there. You just got to find them. Phone signal in Texas has not been good for me anywhere. We have AT&T, now we go. There we go. In some places it's been exceptionally well. But in too many places, this is food bank there. In too many places, I find that the phone signal has been horrible. Now, I did notice that coming up the interstate in Louisiana, that the phone signal was incredible. Incredible phone signal throughout Louisiana. I mean, we uploaded an hour-long video in like, what, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Coming up interstate, was it 49?
Yep.
So, phone coverage here is below par for rural areas. I mean, again, it's a massive state, so it's really hard, I guess, to get every inch of this place covered with phone signal. Or like in other states like Louisiana, the population is concentrated in specific areas. But it is kind of scary when as soon as I jumped into Texas, I'm like, oh crap, we don't have phone signal. How do we even? We drove for 40, 50 miles. Just driving, not even knowing where we were heading. We're just like, okay, we're gonna just go. This is Lake Palestine, absolutely gorgeous. There's nobody behind us, so I'm gonna slow it down so we can enjoy this. Lots of bass fishing, record bass on this lake for sure. Let's take a picture and send it to my dad. Take a few pictures here, send it to dad. It looks beautiful. I mean, you don't have an ocean, but you know, if you have a little boat, you can get on this lake. Although it's awfully windy today. I don't know if it's always this windy out here. Definitely more windy than I would want to be out here. I wouldn't want to be out here if it was this windy. I don't know if it gets calmer than this. Probably does at times. It's just a gorgeous little lake. It's not as nice as Lake Martin, but it does seem more accessible. Lake Martin in central Alabama, you know, there's not even that many ways to get out there. It's not very public accessible. It kind of, where here, there's boats everywhere. There's actually people fishing. The person behind us is trying to pass us on the double yellow line. They're swinging behind us as if they're in a rush to get somewhere. I don't know what the speed limit is. I'm going 50. We'll see what the speed limit posted out here is once we get out here. Speed limits in Texas are insanely high. We'll see for a minute. It's 45 on this car. We're going 55. We'll find out. We'll find out. We're now approaching, I believe this is Coffee City. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. I believe it's Coffee City, but don't take my word for it. We're kind of, there's not enough signal to even get on maps. Sometimes the map turns off even. Any other thoughts on this place, baby?
Beautiful natural setting.
It's interesting that when you enter the state of Texas, it says drive friendly the Texas way, but I don't think people here drive too friendly. For one, the speed limits are insane, which is good. It encourages you to want to speed, but even that doesn't seem like enough for some people. They want to go even faster. One thing about this area here is that they get snow here. A lot of snow.
Continue straight.
It is Saturday. It looks like a perpetual garage seller. You know, those people that do it every weekend. There's never good stuff with those. They're not really garage sales, they're junk sales. A garage sale is when you do it once a year. That's a garage sale. That's where the goodies are. But somebody who does it every weekend,
Continue straight.
There's nothing left there worth getting. And when you drive by a yard sale and all you see is clothes, you're like, yeah, not good for anybody. She says I only get excited when the pop turn down. You can see the lines on the road where people have been doing donuts and stuff on the road. Might not have signal moving forward. We're going to enter a more rural area here. Would I move to Texas? I think the biggest hurdle for Texas for me is one, colder than Alabama for sure. even though they're at the same height, the further inland you go, the colder it gets. Alabama, especially southeast Alabama, for example, southeast Alabama is warmer considerably than southwest Alabama. When a cold front comes through, southwest Alabama will get snow and southeast Alabama will get rain. So it's a vertical line. It's not a north to south line with the cold weather. For example, in North Carolina along the coast may not get snow, but Louisiana will get snow, and they're way further south. Because again, it's a vertical line. It's not an north to south line. And being in the central part of the state, we kind of, northwest of us it'll snow and southwest of us it'll rain. And we're right at the line where it stops snowing and it starts raining. Where Texas, you're in the snow for sure. So this area here got snow this year for sure. So while we were getting rain, they were getting snow. That to me could be a definite deal breaker on Texas. The other thing is, how far are you from a beach here? A decent beach, not like some Mississippi or Louisiana mud pit. I mean, or like even Texas beaches aren't all that great. Every once in a while, a Texas beach has a good day and the water gets clear, but it's not like Destin. So, or Orange Beach. Oh, I also found out why Orange Beach is so expensive. You may have heard me say on the channel, why is Orange Beach, Alabama so expensive? Because everybody coming from Texas and Oklahoma and these places, that's the closest beach to them with clear water. So the demand for those beaches is higher, where when you get to southeast Alabama, southwest Georgia, you have so many options for beaches there that the demand is less. But somebody coming from Texas may not already drove 6-7 hours to get to a beach, or even more, 8 or 9 hours to get to a beach. They may not want to drive an extra hour. They may just pay the $100 extra or $200 and stay in Alabama beaches that are clear. So that's kind of why Alabama beaches are more expensive than Florida beaches, which I always wondered, why are these Alabama beaches so expensive? Because the demand of people coming from Texas, Oklahoma, and all these states up here, which I didn't understand that, but now that I'm here, I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, if you're going to a beach that's decent, you got to go to Alabama. But for me,
In a half mile, turn left.
I'm actually closer to the Florida beaches than I am to the Alabama beaches, because I have to drive southwest at an angle kind of to get to those beaches I have to drive southwest. But if I'm heading to Florida,
Turn left.
I'm heading straight south, so I can actually save 45 minutes, almost an hour in cases, if I go to a Florida beach versus if I go to Alabama beach. Look at that candy painted. Is there a lake over there?
No.
No? I see water on the sides of the road. This water, you lied to me. Why you always lying? Shamrock. I mean, my first impressions of Texas are definitely looks exactly like Alabama. It's beautiful, just like Alabama. The roads have higher speed limits, and there's more Latino people, and the Latino people here seem to be doing much better than the Latino people in Alabama. So if you're a Latino, this seems like a better place, but the weather is probably the deal breaker. And yes, they get tornadoes here just like we do in Alabama. Texas gets tornadoes through Smith County now, so we're back in Smith County. This is gorgeous. I mean, Big Lake, known for great, incredible record-breaking bass, and also specks are here, I believe. I've never fished for that crap. I mean, and right now I'm going 70 miles an hour, and there's 2 cars trying to gain ground on me. Now I'm going 75 miles an hour, and there's still 2 cars trying to make ground on me. And also, 75 miles per hour, that's not just the interstate highway, that's just like the county road highway. So we can be like you don't have to be on an interstate to go 75. You can be on a country road and you're going 75 miles an hour. It's like a little sandy beach. Right? Is it
Turn
public?
right onto Cooper Road.
Private.
Private.
Private?
Yeah.
So like right now, I'm on a county road approaching a town, and we're in the town now. I'm going 75 miles an hour. Now it goes on to 55 because we're entering the town. But most of these roads in Texas are 2-lane roads, and they don't look pretty. They look like crap, but they ride pretty safe. So
Lakeway Harbor Drive.
you know. Well, there it is, guys. Those are my first impressions of Texas. Anything else you want to say about Texas?
I like it so far.
You like it?
Turn right onto Lakeway Harbor Drive, then turn right
And
onto
the part where
Arnold's
it
Trail.
snows impresses me.
Huh? Snow. But what you say, women? Snow. I don't know. Do I look like a snowman to you? I look like a Cuba man, not a snowman. Sorry, dude. I'm in the way. I'm sorry. Texas. 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 Texas, 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 Texas. So those were my first impressions. I mean, it looks remarkably like Alabama. The biggest fear that I would have in choosing this place over Alabama undoubtedly would be the weather. I don't do snow, ice, the combination of both. I do Cuba, man. And in Alabama, we had 2 cold fronts that were kind of substantial. I think we're in Coffee City now. No, we're in Dogwood City now. Sorry, we're in Dogwood City. Not enough signal to even get on Google Maps. There we go. And now we're gonna head back over into Tyler. I think if you're thinking about Texas, this chicken and fish thing is like, I love how simple they label things here. I think if you're thinking about Texas, especially, you know, the northeast side of Texas, I think what you need to consider is snow, ice, all that, because that for me is definitely a deal breaker. Probably not for Katie,
Yeah.
but definitely for me, because I actually have to work out here. And she says she'll promise, I'll shovel the snow if it snows, but I know it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna be like out there at 6 in the morning shoveling snow, and you're gonna be inside sleeping. So you ain't gonna trick me with that one. You had me there with Alabama.
Get a lawnmower that has a.
Because she's from Michigan, and she's like, oh, I'm from Michigan. I'm not scared of the snow. I'll do the snow. Okay, Michigan. I had to take the garbage out when it was 32 degrees outside.
Because it's your job.
And it's not that bad. Like, people in Florida over-exaggerate how bad cold weather is to a large extent. Because in Florida, it could be 59 in Florida, and I would rather be in 32 in Alabama than 59 in Florida because of humidity, wind. I don't know what the crap is wrong with Florida. I mean, it gets into the 60s in Florida, and you're already wearing a sweater. And it's not because, like, we've been in Alabama, and it's been, like, in the 30s here or something, you know? It'll be, like, in the 30s, and we're, like, outside in Alabama, like, we're actually outside in the 30s, you know? Man, you go to Florida. Remember one day we were in Navarre, and it was, what, 52?
Yeah, and it was
freezing
like
to the bone.
chilly.
To the bone. So, yeah, Alabama winters aren't that bad. I don't know if I could kick it up a notch and make it to Texas. That would definitely be a thing to consider. So I think the biggest cons about Texas are it's definitely cleaner. There's no litter here. Like Alabama, they litter everywhere. There's no litter here. Definitely less litter, which is nice. It's as pretty as Alabama, if not a little bit more in some places. Definitely the tensions here seem to be much less. So if you want to feel comfortable in your own skin, this seems like a better place. I haven't seen any rebel flags since we got here, probably. Nope. But definitely the cold weather and being hours from beaches is a downside.